Okay, welcome to SpeakEasy. It's May 2024. This is the last one of term, actually, before we have the summer break. And yeah, there's been some nice sunny weather of late, which is nice. Not before time. Good to see you guys here. We've got a couple of events coming up. This Sunday in Bitts Park in Carlisle is the show and tell event, and there'll be the opportunity to come along and read some poetry at the sort of speakeasy drop-in session that's happening there. It's 12 till 4 in the afternoon. Fingers crossed the weather would be kind to us. I know there's lots of other activities going on. Ursula, I know you're doing some bits and pieces. I'm sure you can maybe tell us about what you're up to as well.
Yes, I'm doing a tree ringing ceremony. Basically, it's a bit like the uh, tree kind of roundings I've done with Jan about 3 years ago now, actually. But I now have this nice name for it, tree ringing, because it's about tree rings inside and outside. So yeah, so. And then I'll be doing something on Chez's labyrinth. She's doing a labyrinth. And yeah, and I'll bring my prop for my sketch. All sorts, all sorts. So it will be like an experimental. Yeah, thing.
Cool. That sounds really, really fun. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah. I,
Okay.
I, I,
Oh yeah.
oh, I found this on the beach, and it's like it's it's like this is where fish get caught for no reason,
Yeah.
because it's still lying on the beach. So I'm being a caught fish.
All right. So you're using your found materials to create art. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. 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 Cool, cool, cool. All righty. Yeah, well, that links to the upcoming festival in Keswick. The Words by the Water is returning to Keswick, and there's some poetry shenanigans and all sorts of things going on there. They've got a rather packed schedule, so do check out their website. It runs from Wednesday, the 5th of June, through to Sunday, the 9th. And there's all sorts of stuff going on, so well worth checking out what's going on. And yeah, it's good to have it back because it we've not had it for a couple of years, and it was a bit of a regular thing in the calendar for a lot of people locally. So that's really really cool to have back. Right, there's probably some other stuff. It'll come to me as we go along. I've realised I forgot to tell people what the running order is because we had a few technical difficulties at the beginning there. But I'll kick off. Then we'll have Ron, Ursula, Pete, Anna, and Roz, and then if anybody else joins us, they'll tag on after Roz. All right. So I've got a poem here. I figured I'd get in before everybody else. This is called Aurora Night, and pretty self-explanatory. A storm breaks 93 million miles from Earth. Ionized particles cast off from the sun strike the atmosphere, that invisible umbrella above a world, the pale blue dot, our fragile home. Unaware participant in a galactic game of chance, another round of Russian roulette. Satellite communications fear blackout. Could the World Wide Web be cut off? Modernization hindered by ancient forces. A change from the threat of meteor impact. Crater created by megaton punch. Dust cloud did for dinosaurs. This cosmic dust cloud reveals phantom beams of white, a purple haze, shimmering pink and green. Each gas flares its own color. Camera lens reveals detailed magic, somewhat visible to the eye, making Lyra Silvertongues of us all, gazing up at northern lights, enthralled by cosmic dust. Unless, of course, you missed it and end up gazing down a portable device, as social media shows you secondhand. There you go. Aurora night.
I like that.
Thank you.
Topical, topical.
Yeah, it's
That's off the cuff, was it, Phil? Just after this weekend.
yeah. I wrote it about 6:30 this evening. It just popped into my head.
Excellent.
So, yeah, it was pretty amazing. I managed to catch the Northern Lights. So I thought I've seen all these things pop up online about it, and I thought, I wonder if it's outside. I went out, and it was.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah.
I messaged a few friends, and most of them caught it, and then there was somebody the next day saw it, and they saw the message and they had missed it, and they were like, next time.
Yeah, we had missed it. It was, I mean, it wasn't really advertised. It was such a pity. We would have loved to see it. Seen it.
There might be more activity over the next few weeks, so who knows? Keep an eye on the skies, as they say. Yeah.
I tried to catch it the following night because I missed it on the main night. And when I looked, the Aurora Watch website was down.
Yeah.
It was because so many people looking at it. And then the next day when I finally got the website to work, the time I was out was the only 2 hours that the Aurora wasn't visible anyway.
Oh, no.
Sitting in Rickaby Park for no point at all.
Oh no. That's heartbreaking. There might be a poem in that. Well, I can hear you, Ron, so that's okay. And it's your turn to read if you've got something to hand.
Navigating the Tears of St. Lawrence from a campsite in France. I should say that the Tears of St. Lawrence refers to the Perseid meteor shower, which is seen in August. And there's a reference to the stars Vega and Altair, which are the brightest in the night sky at that time. Stella, he offers, the glass beside him, the ghost of a glass, almost out of reach. His splayed fingers anchoring him to the warm grass of Brittany, arms and legs set to 4 cardinal points, as he lies face upward at the closing edge of day. Vega, Altair, he says, arranging the sky, then sets the course with a wave of his hand. Out of Perseus, over Biscay, the Pyrenees. Tears of fire, they call them. We wait. The last of lanterns navigate to canvas. Children, hushed after torch beams, hammock down to camp beds, tents luffing gentle in the breeze. Mariner, he tells me, Low Countries, knows his heavens, always under sail. Retired but not ancient, he laughs, and high above the first burning star. Tomorrow, he's gone. And in the nights to come, I call my partner by my side, Vega, Altair. Then, with a wave of my hand, out of Perseus, over Biscay, the Pyrenees. Others join us, neighbours, strangers, their children safely harboured. No fallen angels, no spectral birds, with stars in the grass, almost touching, reaching out, encompassing the earth, drinking the sky.
That was great, Ron. Thanks very much. We heard that really clearly.
Thank you.
Can't see you, but
That really resonated because I've laid in the wet grass on an August night with my children, just kind of we're touching and looking, and it was it was really lovely, really lovely.
Yeah, the opening line, Stella, he offers, It's true, the guy was real and he offered me a glass of Stella, and I thought that was perfectly appropriate as we were watching the stars.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. That was great. Okay, Ursula.
Really great, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so I could just start with one of my either orchestra. That was the initial poem that has prompted my the whole project actually. Thin lines in the sky in the meantime, with wobbles and increasing meanders. The in-between spaces were surprisingly and suddenly discarded and then discontinued after a piece of paper fell from the space that was then between the table in front of me and the wall next to me. And next thing, the tiny accident happened. The paper tumbled. The paper piece fell rather unexpectedly from its hitherto position where it was wedged in, like an either orchestrated action or a surprise event. An either orchestrated action or a surprise event. After that came an overwhelming urgency to pick up the piece and look from which angle it might have started to tumble and what occurred during its flight and how it edged into voice or noise, story or secret. It was then indeed a sudden orchestration, if any, like birdsong, like birdsong. You cannot expect or predict. And there, outside the window, in crescendo, a flight of the kestrel, for a flight of the kestrel in crescendo, as if an orchestral voice, noise, chirp. Thank you.
That was great, Ursula. Yeah, that was had a lovely lyrical quality to that, and yeah, had an experimental quality as well.
Yeah, yeah. I've been going more experimental actually, and then I've been doing more with my little you. Yeah, thank you.
I love the singing. Super.
Yes, thank you. I do always like to combine poem and song. Yeah, and I've started out doing that, and then I've been doing less of it, and now I'm going back into song. Especially since I have my uke, it's like I love it. I love it. I mean, I've had it for a while, but I haven't really been using it. But yeah.
That was great. Thank you very much, Ursula, and we look forward to more soon. Okay, Pete, we're with you. What you got for us?
Okay. I thought for a horrible moment we're all going to be not horrible moment, but I thought for a moment we're all going to be doing sky-related things, and I'm not. So I'm just doing a true story, as ever. A voice stopped me. Accent so far back, so upper, it could have been royalty. I didn't hear what was said, just mumbling like the king when you do an impression of him, or Boris when you're taking the piss. And I stopped and looked up. The accent made him sound tall. Saw tweed blazer, navy trousers, slippers hinting at eccentricity, the balding back of a head, his age, a hearing aid tucked behind an ear, a woman of a similar age leading him along the aisle. And I was surprised he was in Tesco's. Surely he had a man who delivered meat on Tuesdays, veg on Wednesdays, or a man to buy these things for him, or he ordered from Harrods, or visited the best rural artisan establishments, or in a pinch would venture into Waitrose. I wonder if he was here by accident, dementia, or fallen on hard times, and I realized deep down we all need food.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter. So yeah, a lot of your poems are from sort of experiences in life, and then tell us about that one.
Yes, something happens and I write it down almost immediately, and then do a bit of chopping about when I get home.
It's interesting where the mind goes, isn't it? Just little vignettes.
Well, yeah, and it's about assumptions as well. That it's about, I heard a certain accent and therefore I made a presumption about the person.
Yeah.
I think we all do it.
It's how we make sense of the world sometimes, isn't it? And then you have to sort of unpick and make something else out of it. Yeah, it's good.
Mm.
Thank you very much. Okay, Anna, with you. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. I get that all the time because I've got a southern accent, and so assumptions are made about me. I'm from Suffolk originally, and my mother's Danish, so I don't end up with much of an accent. But I definitely don't quite blend into Cumbria at times. So I know all about that one. I'm going to share a poem about the fact that, well, it speaks for itself. But I have two boys who are growing up now, but I'm a busy mum and I work, and this is called Duvet Day. I have to say that today I do not want to do a to-do day. What I need right now is a nothing to do day. A nothing to do day except roll flat day. A hey, what's up? Well, nothing day. A duvet day that's accrued, and nothing else will do day. I bloody well need a not day, a not now day, a don't need me day, and best of all would be a nothing to do day. A Saturday would not suffice, would not begin to be sufficient. Hark, in fact, I hear it calling from up the stairs, along the landing. Its nature is to bend my will, to lie me flat, to lie me still. Flat and dreaming, wrapped yet breathing. A nothing to do day, a nothing but you day. Just me and the dark and my soft duvet.
Those are great days to have, and there's never enough of them. Again, speaking from experience, I suggest that. That was great. Thank you very much, Anna. Okay, we've got about 3.5 minutes. Is that enough time, Ros, for you to do a piece for us?
I was going to do that for longer, so that takes a little while, doesn't it?
All right. Okay. Well, I can push the little button and we can sign back in. Hopefully, there won't be any more technical difficulties. And then you can do the Valanga for us, Ros. How does that
Yeah, by the
sound?
time I found something else short, it'll be out of time.
Oh, that's okay. All right. I'll push the button. Use the same login that we've logged in with. Hopefully everything
Get
goes
in a
fine.
bit.
Can we use the remaining time? I was curious, Peter, you were talking about your events. I didn't get that at the beginning.
Oh, I'm putting together a database of literature events, regular
Okay.
literature events in Cumbria
Okay.
that I'll
Yeah.
share.
Sorry. Yeah. Right.
I'm not running any, I'm just
Yeah.
collecting information.
Right. Right.
And I just say as well, Phil, I've got Wordsworth House for Cockermouth Live, but I just don't know the date and time yet. I don't know which day it's on, but we definitely got it.
Wow. Is that the first weekend in July then?
It is, yeah, I think it is the 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. I'll have to look on the calendar.
All right. Well, we'll add that to the list of.
I will let you know when I actually hear. I think it's the beginning of June. They announce all the times.
Wow. So that's the
That'll be
Cockermouth.
on their website.
That's Cockermouth's annual festival, isn't it? There's lots going on.
Yeah, the Cockermouth Live event with lots of singing and all free events all over town. But we'll just do an open mic poetry in Wordsworth House like we have previously.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
Cool.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like a great opportunity once again. And yeah, there's usually lots of good stuff going on in the town over that weekend as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
There is indeed. Yeah,
There's lots going on, isn't there?
yeah, there is too much.
Too much. Well, you don't have to do everything, Rose. You don't have to do it all.
No, well, I'm not doing it. I like the duvet days myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Poets like duvet days. Okay. I'll push the button, we'll sign back in, and then we'll pick up with more of this fun and games. See you in a second.
It's funny. They seem to always put us on off camera first. It didn't used to be like that, isn't it?
Prevent embarrassing accidents.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to work now, but I can normally make it rain. No, see, I can't make it rain on your version of Zoom. So
right.
I do a lot of Zoom, and I've discovered that if I make certain hand gestures, it'll do certain things. But you see, somehow it's locked off because I'm not the host. But I can make it rain. I can make balloons and fireworks go off, and all sorts of kind of weird things. But obviously not when I haven't set the meeting.
No, we probably got the cheaper version where it doesn't have any of those. There's no frills, nothing like that.
Very sensible.
Oh, like they'll add anything to these programs these days just to get people to use them. It's amazing. You don't work for the weather forecasters or something and just go, yeah, we just do a weather forecast.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool? No, I work for a company and I get access to Zoom via their system, so I can schedule dull meetings and all of that malarkey.
Oh dear, it's all fun and games. Hopefully Ron's okay and he's not struggling with the technology. I'll give him a couple more minutes. Did you find your Valango, Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, sorry, I had that. Do you want me to start then?
We'll just give Ron another minute and then we'll crack on. But yeah, some good stuff so far. It's nice.
Did you actually see the aurora? Because I went out every night, but obviously it was the wrong time or the wrong place or something.
Yeah, I caught it. It was clear. I mean, it looks better through a camera lens, but it was all right. You could see shimmering sort of beams of white light with the naked eye, and there was a purpley, pink, greeny haze. And then if you took photos, it did come out a little bit more vivid. So yeah, it was definitely visible. You couldn't mistake it for anything else. So yeah. All right.
Okay.
What have you got for us, Roz?
I've got this, always looking for somewhere that I read on Wednesday. People with suitcases are always more interesting. I'm just hanging around the bus station. I never realised this could be a destination. They have an air of purpose, going places. People with suitcases are always more interesting. Their lives neatly packed in little boxes. I'm just hanging around the bus station, making up stories about the travellers. I never realised this could be a destination. Watching people boarding and alighting, they have an air of purpose, going places, imagining where they have visited. People with suitcases are always more interesting. What knowledge and secrets hide inside their lives, neatly packed in little boxes, filled with extraordinary excitement. I'm just hanging around the bus station, waiting for my life of elsewhere to begin, making up stories about the travellers, heading off to places where things happen. I never realised this could be a destination. Filled with curiosity and envy, watching people boarding and alighting, they have already seen somewhere. They have an air of purpose, going places. They're not static, not stuck, not dull, imagining places they have visited and the fascinating things they have seen. People with suitcases are always more interesting. Which lies have they told? What crimes committed? What knowledge, what secrets hide inside to make them continually travel their lives neatly packed in little boxes, bags bulging with experiences, filled with extraordinary excitement, creating their future memories. I'm just hanging around the bus station without a direction of travel, waiting for my life of elsewhere to begin, occupying my mind with observation, making up stories about the travellers who are living my future adventures, heading off to places where things happen. Sitting here, nothing will ever happen. I never realised this could be a destination. And that's that.
That's so good, Roz. I mean, that Valanga form that Mike came up with is such an effective
It is.
structure.
I like it a lot. Yeah. Might get a bit boring sometimes, I suppose.
No. Well, the Valangas you write are never boring. They're good. It has a mutual friend
You
Mike.
might get another game or two more. Who knows?
You want to roll with the Valangas, aren't you? Yeah, Mike Smith came up with a poetry form, the Valanga, many years ago, and it starts off with 3 lines, and then there's 3 lines repeat, but you add another 3 lines, and then there's 6 lines repeat, and then you add 6 lines, and then there's 12, and then you add another 12 lines. So it's Valanga, I think, is the Italian word for avalanche, and it has that sort of cascading effect, and it's yeah, there's been lots of amazing pieces written using that form over the last number of years, and yeah, it's pretty effective. I think it has that repetition is it drives the poems along, and that was a great example, Roz. So,
It makes me feel more interesting standing there with my small case. There's nothing exciting in it and no exciting stories to tell. Yet you make me feel I'm on an adventure.
yeah, absolutely. No, it's cool. Okay, Val, we're over with you. What have you got for us this time?
Right. Can you hear me all right for a start?
Yes.
You can hear me. Yes, that's
We
good. This one's called Reflections. It's just about the 2 different meanings of the word reflection. Reflections. I see murky blue and green and shadowy dark trees drifting in the river. This gloomy autumn scene and the chilly winter breeze suddenly makes me shiver. Reflections. A memory of what has been and shadowy imaginings ripple through my mind, with the pain still yet unseen of long forgotten things, for life has been unkind. reflections. These pictures are not real. Like an image in a mirror, it's all just a deception. An emotion that we feel, a moment we remember at a time of introspection. Reflections in the river, reflections in my mind, and on reflection I believe it costs nothing to be kind. Thank you.
Thanks, Val. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, we're back. We're back with me. There's some. I can hear some excitable children through at the neighbour's house. So I hope that's not gonna disturb. This is a poem. I was asked to come up with a piece for the Brampton Poets, just north of Carlisle, market town, Brampton. They meet monthly, and the community centre there in Brampton puts up a poem, and they asked for sort of a 10-line or less poem, and I'd been challenged by a friend of mine to write a sonnet, so I dropped some of the weaker lines in the sonnet and came up with this. It's called "Are We on the Brink?" and it's just sort of thinking about the state of the world today. Global conflict rears up its ugly head. Tensions rise, hatred lurks, seeking release. Can't we value our differences instead? What we need now is an outbreak of peace. Restore humanity, rebuild our trust. Take a step back from the brink, breathe and see. Each act of kindness bestowed upon us. It's fine to respectfully disagree. So please heed the lessons of a war-torn past. May this glorious spring not be our last. So there you are. Are we on the brink? Thank you very much. Okay. We're back with Ron. Are you there, Ron?
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic.
Do you have video yet or not?
We have sound and vision. It's brilliant.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Cafe Lubin, Morecambe. One of my favourite places, I think mainly because there's an endearing eccentricity about the place. She's Amdram, the lady with Mr. Whippy hair, singing over scrambled eggs, over buttering the toast, absent-mindedly rehearsing lines as she froths your milky coffee. No flat whites here. Urbane fashion ceased when, in a jostle of fonts, the place was named. July, its strawberry halves, spoonful affections red as the Valentine hearts she forgot to remove from February windows. Castor sugar spilt like frost over linoleum tabletops. And there, among the cockle shells and sky blue boats, forever Christmas cards, blue tack, snow, and celebration to stucco walls of summer. And so they come, pennies saved, the disparate and vernacular, to ice cream sundaes, weekday broth, to buy their colorized postcards of the pier that disappeared. It only rained at night, someone always writes. Seasons to savor. Victoria, sipping soup, notebook by her side, and Eric, glasses askew, dancing sand and sunshine through the ever open door.
That really conjures up the place and is very evocative.
Thanks. Yeah. Sadly, even though I finished with Ever Open Door, it was closed about 4 years ago, and then featured as a Balti restaurant in The Bay, the television series. Rumour has it, it's opening again, so I'd recommend it to anyone.
Oh, thanks very much, Rob. Cheers. All right, Ursula, we're with you again.
Understood. This one, it's this one is actually an earlier one I wrote in 2017 called Fingerprints. I often immerse myself inside a landscape, go deep inside to get a sense of the land that lies before me, surrounding me, on which I stand. A landscape like a heart beating. You can feel its heartbeat and your heartbeat with it. And so you and the land are one. Heartland arises. Onwards from the heart, I search for mountain, wild-eyed, wildly looking at least for a hill. And there's none in sight on this flat land right now, where all is flat and even, straight ironed out land. There comes a river at least, some water at last, rivers through the land now rising, like lines in my palm, and so I shake hands with you, the land, and you, my sister. You then look for the mountain too. You walk and walk, you look and look, like I did, until you find that you are already there. It's the mountain called land. This is why we're not in the sea. And I thank you for reminding me we live on a mountain. Take all those mountains together then and find all the pieces where we live, land carved out everywhere around the globe, a big earth sculpture that houses all of us, tall enough not to get submerged by water unless the sea levels rise. On land, it's the rivers that remain, like the lines in the palm of your hand. There it is, your handprint, your bigger fingerprint, taken from the earth, the heart of where you live.
That was great. Such an evocative piece as well, yeah. That was so descriptive and beautifully told, beautifully read, yeah. Was that part of a project you were working on at the time then?
Not really, actually. No, it just came to me. I mean, I was obviously traveling somewhere, and I think I can't remember, but yeah. I remember reading it in Walthamstow. But yeah.
Fantastic.
Mm.
Oh, it was really lovely, really lovely.
Oh,
Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, Pete, we're with you again.
Okay, this one grew from the first line, and I guess is written to entertain myself, but it manages to solve everything by the end. So here we go. All robins are called Bobby, in the way that all children between the ages of 1 and 2 are Dot or Dotty, and every adult wearing a rucksack is Donald. The distance between any 2 points is Fergus. A wet, windy day is Hermione. Teresa are the glittering litter, such as crisp packets or sweet wrappers faded by the sun that gather under hedges. There is only one Arav. It is in a vault under a provincial branch of the CaixaBank somewhere in Spain. Austin are everywhere, but are so small you cannot see them. Yusuf is the real term for fluff that forms beneath wardrobes. Tiana are the thoughts that arrive unbidden and spark a moment of joy. Khalil are smooth pebbles that fit pleasantly into the palm. A piece of paper that slipped behind a settee and is then found many years later that bears a mystery phone number is a Meredith. And so I have named everything. The world is now describable in simpler terms. Art will become more accessible, politics unnecessary, happiness more than a byproduct of situation. The secrets of life will be revealed.
was great. It's like you've taken the What 3 Words app and just applied it universally. That's cool.
Everything has a name.
Yeah, why not? Cool. Right, thank you very much. Anna, we're back with you.
Okay, I can't quite decide where to go with my poems, but I love the idea that we can just use names and get rid of politics. I'm going to stick with the mundane. It's not the theme of every poem, I promise. Mundane meets modernity. Mundanity. Every chat show chats the same sort of chat. Every advert tries to sell the same sort of crap. Every town sells the same sort of stuff from the same chain of stores to the same kind of us. I'm no different in my mundane, blighted habits. Every hat I put my hand into pulls out the same kind of rabbits. I fall for all that crap and join the supermarket fight, which turns our suburbs duller with supermarket blight. I'm bored of what I cook and I lose the will to shake things up. My shopping list is listless and the family all fed up. My mind gets stuck on spag bowl, mac cheese and pasta, and I wish that quick cook food would just cook a little faster. Yet I am the first to find comfort in my routine ways, reach for the same coffee mug on familiar work days. I always eat my poached egg on the plate that is blue, because yellow eggs look best when set against that hue. Routine gives me comfort and soup nourishes my soul. The same orange vegetables make the best sort of bowl. Baking at the weekend keeps anxieties at bay. Tried and tested recipes will always save the day. Attention to little things, see the bigger picture, zoom in, zoom out, the page begins to flicker. Yet I will sometimes crave for new sights bathed in glory, and my routine backdrop will illuminate that story.
That was really lovely. Yeah, fantastic.
Really good. Loved it.
Yeah. This is great stuff, guys. Thank you very much. Roz, we're back with you.
You might as well have this other Belanga that I did. Was it last week? The week before? I can't remember. When I was in a Belanga writing mood. And this one called I Keep a Soft Spot for Keswick. Like with any remembered place on the journey into adulthood, I keep a soft spot for Keswick. Only the sunny days remain, like with any remembered place from the formative years on the journey into adulthood. That first stop along the way, I keep a soft spot for Keswick. For the influx of tourists, only sunny days remain on the campsites, in cafes and bars. Like with any remembered place, harsh realities disappear from the formative years that set you on your path on the journey into adulthood, that defined who you became. That first stop along the way to craft your thinking, I keep a soft spot for Keswick. With her ready supply of work for the influx of tourists looking for holiday romances, only sunny days remain with those first stolen kisses on the campsites, in cafes and bars. But you know truth runs deeper, like with any remembered place. You choose what you remember. Harsh realities disappear as you formulate a past from the formative years that omits the ugliness that set you on your path, formed your attitudes and ideas on the journey into adulthood, that gave you an understanding that defined who you became, encapsulated in this apparent self, that first stop along the way that fostered the ambition to craft your thinking, of sowing the seeds of an identity, keep a soft spot, Keswick. I just realised that's a different version to the other one I read last week. I didn't meant to read that one, but I hope. I don't know.
No, that was really good, Roz. It's right, you do choose what you remember, and you do sort of edit out all the rainy days and try and keep all the sunny days in your memory. It's funny, that, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. All right, Val, do you have another one for us?
Yeah, this one's called Growing. When I moved here, the garden was empty. I couldn't wait for it to grow. I planted some cuttings from my mother's, but it all seemed so terribly slow. But my patience was finally rewarded, and the bushes had grown at last. I was proud of my beautiful bushes, then suddenly they grew very fast. So I cut down my lovely bushes. It really did feel such a shame after growing them for all those years, and the garden is just not the same. And it makes me think about life. As children, you can't wait to grow, then suddenly it's gone by in a rush, and you're saying, where did the time go? Thank you.
Yeah, time's a funny thing as well. Yeah, that was quite reflective. It was almost like that followed on from Roz's piece, like you'd arranged that. Oh, that was good. Right. Okay, we're back to me. All right. I've got a bit of a story here. For those of you who've not been on the call before, you're going to be totally confused. This is the latest installment of a long-running cartoon detective series I've been writing called Kung Fu Penguin. Started many years ago in the lockdown, and we're now on to series 3, which has taken a bit of a weird turn, frankly. He's a detective penguin who knows kung fu. The theme song explains all this. It's best just to go with it. Yeah, I could try explaining it, but I mean, there's many voices and things, so the next sort of 10 minutes might be very strange. So if you want to make a cup of tea, it's probably a good time to do it. But yeah, maybe pick up a penguin on the way there. Yeah. Anyway, let's launch into this madness. Yeah, there's various voices and things. We'll see what happens. Previously on Kung Fu Penguin. Previously, Kung Fu Penguin and disgraced physicist and professor and paranormal podcaster Davinia Brush were trying to find missing archaeologist Professor Schrodinger before being kidnapped by mystic Alaska May Fortune at the fun fair and taken to Skincrawler Ranch, home to the Piccolo Institute for Science of the Strange. As guests of the eccentric millionaire Brian Piccolo, they view an experiment after being given the message, "Embrace the Silver Shadow," by one of the gifted individuals at the center. I told you it's going to be weird. This is very weird, but we'll just carry on. They witnessed a rather unusual experiment using sound and frequency, which was live streamed via Dr. Bobcat Investigates podcast, and see a ball of light appear briefly before vanishing. Then security sensors detected an intruder near the old abandoned Pioneer homestead. Kung Fu Penguin and the others go out to investigate. Are you still live streaming this? Kung Fu Penguin asked Professor Brush with a sigh. Yeah. Everybody has a New York accent in this. Everyone has an American accent for some reason. I don't really know why, but just bear with me on this. Yeah. That last video had the most views that Dr. Bobcat has ever had, she replied excitedly. Most people would kill for these kind of viewing figures. Well, let's hope not. Professor Brush just shrugged before smiling inanely at a camera phone. Welcome back, guys. We're on the trail of the mysterious intruder. Check out this old abandoned building. Looks like some kind of shack. Wait, what's that over there? I think I can see movement. They drew closer, and Professor Brush peered through the doorway as Kung Fu Penguin glanced over the crumbling brickwork and then the broken glass in the old window frame. Suddenly a figure appeared, two big eyes staring out intently from the dark of the homestead. Whoa! Gasped the podcaster nervously. Who's there? Oh no, that's the wrong voice. Who's there? Who? Hola, it's only little old me, Alaska my fortune. I didn't mean to scare you. There's nothing wrong with these voices. They're all legitimate voices. Hey, it's only our fortune teller. I'm doing the wrong voice again. This went a lot better in rehearsal. Hey, it's only our fortune teller friend, explained the young woman to her viewers. Where can people follow you? Follow me? Who's following me? Asked the mystic suspiciously. I don't know nothing. You know, a podcast. I thought you had a channel. Oh, I see. No, I don't. The only channeling I do is of the spiritual kind. A loud bang reverberated from the back of the tumble-down building. Kung Fu Penguin's eyes narrowed and he disappeared off along the south-facing wall to investigate. A tall, grey, shadowy figure appeared. Professor Brush and Miss Fortune stared in terror. Kung Fu Penguin stepped out from the doorway and took a run up and leaped through the air, tackling the figure to the floor. A cloud of red dust drifted over the two figures. The detective stood up and shook his head. Sorry, buddy, grumbled Kung Fu Penguin. I don't like all this sneaking around. Who are you? Miss Fortune grinned broadly, clapped her hands together and nodded to Kung Fu Penguin. Seems the little prophecy has come to pass. You embraced the silver shadow. The figure picked himself up and dusted himself down. Before them stood a silver fox. He brushed back his wave of glossy hair. It turned out he was a smooth-talking hotshot. The name's Beam. Ray Beam. And then we segue into the musical number because I'm really trying to pitch it as a Broadway show, but they haven't called me yet. I don't know why, but this is the theme. This is Ray Beam's theme. Ray Beam, going to places you've never been. Ray Beam, adventure taken to the extreme. Ray Beam, where nothing's what it may seem. Ray Beam, truth stranger than what you might dream. Ray Beam, the countdown hits 0. In a cloud of smoke they launch a new hero, setting out in a little space rocket, following the trail from this gizmo in his pocket. Gotta find a feisty girl, victim of a kidnapping. Pretty soon all the gods he's gonna be zapping. Look out for the deadly android. There's a killer robot. Once Ray Beam destroyed, armies of good, armies of bad, megalomaniacs and scientists gone mad. Ray Beam, thwarting every villainous scheme. Ray Beam, rescues damsels from the harem. Ray Beam, bears a passing resemblance to 70s TV actor Christopher Neame. Ray Beam, he's cooler than the coolest ice cream. Ray Beam, Ray Beam, Ray Beam, Ray Beam. And I'm Penguin, Kung Fu Penguin. I've got a theme tune too. This is Miss Fortune, and this is Professor Brush, aka Dr. Bobcat Investigates. She's got a podcast. You're a talking penguin, and an owl, and a pussycat. The private eye smiled. I got news for you, buddy. You're a talking wolf. A silver fox, in point of fact. What? How's that even possible? Ray Beam pondered. Unless the professor was right, and the device is somehow able to crisscross between dimensions. Interdimensional travel? That's fascinating, exclaimed Professor Brush. What are you talking about? Where are you from? I'm a space adventurer. What brings you here, Mr. Spaceman? Alaska May Fortune asked curiously. You mean you don't know? Kung Fu Penguin muttered sarcastically, because he's a bit of a sarcastic guy here. I'm looking for somebody, a girl. Who knows what critter she might have become? Kung Fu Penguin nodded. What's your name? Window. Trudy Window. That's the joke. That was the joke we were building to. What's this? What's that? Fix it in the edit. What's that? Dr. Brush interrupted urgently, pointing at the horizon. A bright light appeared over the desert. It grew larger, heading towards them at a rate of knots. There's another one. Suddenly a rumbling, whirring whoosh sound reverberated all around them, and dust flew all about as spotlights illuminated the small group. Don't move, bellowed a voice from the loud hailer above, the loud engine noise. The blinding light forced Kung Fu Penguin and his company to raise their hands. Rubber tires touched down on the sand. The helicopter rotor blades swooshed around whilst they were almost deafened by the engine noise. It's an extraction theme, cried Alaska May Fortune. Probably the military, huh? But how could they know where we were? Asked the mystified Dr. Brush. It's almost as if someone were broadcasting our location and everything we've been doing for the last hour. I guess more people watch my channel than I realized. Let's hope these ratings aren't the kind people are willing to kill for. The machine guns helpfully encouraged our four figures to walk towards the helicopter. A hawkish figure held the door as Kung Fu Penguin and his companions climbed aboard. You're coming with us, the voice told them ominously. Has Professor Brush sacrificed them for the sake of views on our podcast? Who are these mysterious people working for? Does Brian Piccolo know more than he's letting on? Has it anything to do with Trudy Window? Will missing Professor Schrodinger ever be found? Is he alive or dead, or both at the same time? Can Miss Fortune tell us what the future holds? Will we ever see Kung Fu Penguin and Ray Beam again? Find out next time, if there is a next time, on Kung Fu Penguin. It's to be continued, guys, after the summer break. There you go. That's Kung Fu Penguin. Oh, you're very kind and patient people.
Did I hear guest appearances by Steve Buscemi and Christopher Walken there?
Possibly. It's your interpretation.
Expensive guys to get in.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very short notice that they turned up.
Your build up to the joke, you didn't need to point it out. We were there.
Oh, it's all right. I always do that. It's like a comic book. I have to. Right. I've used up all the time there. So if we sign out, sign back in, and then it'll be run.
Waking in pine woods. Tinnitus of cicadas. The slant light of late afternoon roused us. Heat of day still remembered on the skin as we brushed away the matrix of pine needles, the basket weave of dreams from thigh and shoulder. And as we stepped to where the outer ring of trees opened towards the shore, the singing began, indistinct at first, lapping the last blind of rock. And there, in the silver waters of the Adriatic, three women, the colour of bark, linked ancient hands in a circle dance of old Yugoslavia. Their empty clothes scattered where sea urchins lay upturned like abandoned nests. Flesh scooped clean, spines shifting a slow reflex. A thread of memory now, spinning out our walk to nightfall, the scent of resin at my fingertips, as we lay undrowsed in the innocent dark, dry lightning from the mountains. And in that moment, on your pillow of limestone, a pine needle fell from a lock of your hair.
So, do you want to tell us a bit about that poem, Ron, and how that came to be?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a memory poem, and it's a sort of disguised love poem as well. Strangely, although I don't know whether it comes through, it was just there in the background somewhere. I was thinking about what happened to those people during the Serbian conflict and the pine woods that people hid in. Somehow that mingled with a memory of my wife Carol and myself working in pine woods.
Well, thank you very much. It was again very evocative, and we could see the woods and the shore of the Adriatic there and everything. Yeah, it's very beautiful poem.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with us. Okay, Ursula, do you have another one for us?
Yes, I'll do a quick and funny one. I have to get it on my. I haven't printed it out, but I'll get it from here. Okay, it's called cat sitting or cat sitting. That's it. That cat sat on a mattress. Due to the unmade bed, the duvet had been thrown to the ground, landing on the mat where the cat sometimes sat as a matter of routine. Another cat came and sat on a carpet. Then a car parked outside the flat. The car didn't plan on parking here. The man inside was meant to go somewhere else, but he got lost. Now he got a map out for orientation. There, the hitherto sitting cat came up to him, attracting his attention, playing with him, and eventually came to sit on his map, that cat. Thanks.
That was great. I like how you took, well, all the different directions you took that in. That was wonderful.
Thanks.
Do you have a cat?
No, I don't actually. It was just because it's such a common phrase, you know. I thought I just wanted. It just came to my mind. I mean, I do love cats, and I think I must have yeah been influenced by seeing some sort of cat, but it was too subconscious for me to say what it was.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, playing with words. It was good fun.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny to have it after this really amazingly like anti-war poem, which I loved. Sorry, so
Yeah.
yeah.
We get some amazing pieces in different ways that follow, and the juxtapositions of you never know what's going to come up next. But that was great as well. Pete, do you have another for us?
Yeah, this is one in a continuing saga. I got caught shoplifting at T-Bay services. Tired, I was tempted by one of the famous sausage rolls, picked it up and wandered round the farm shop inspecting the cakes, then decided I couldn't afford it. As I left, a young woman, branded t-shirt and branded apron, followed me out. Excuse me, sir, she said. You haven't paid for that. The family stopped to judge. I was mortified, so played the tired old man, stupid old man, confused old man card, mumbling apologies. The teachers and social workers tutted as I handed the sausage roll back, greasy with contrition.
This wasn't all the same trip to the T-Base services, was it? Because this sounds
Every
like the
time
most
I go,
incredible
something-
afternoon.
Every time I go, something terrible happens.
I think we can all identify with walking into tea-based services and thinking we can't afford that. That's not uncommon.
Other things have happened there in my poems.
Yeah, not always things we could afford for them to keep happening to you either. So, yeah, I like these little snapshots into your life
Psyche.
and the poems that come out of it. Thank you, Anna. We've got another one from you if you've got something for us.
I'm going to do a poem called Absence. Absence is a shape of something etched or coloured in, out of reach. Absence is a breath of needles, of soft cotton, draped on the moment. Absence is a smell, a tang in the air, hanging empty sleeve, an unsat chair. Absence is an old movie, frames flickering, and figures stutter, black, white, black. I lost my old dad a year and a half ago. He was 96, but I still miss him terribly. He was very special to me, and I still miss him and look at his chair and wonder where he is.
Oh, that was a lovely poem to remember him by. Thank you for sharing it with us. Right, Roz, we're back with you. Do you have another one for us?
Right, this is called Wild Children Will Play. Even in these desolate places where howling winds echo, wild children will play. The sound of young voices calling, even in these desolate places, they seem to hang in the air where howling winds echo, and in spite of the cold, wild children will play. So sad and disturbing, the sound of young voices calling from the empty streets of town. Even in these desolate places, it rings out like memories. They seem to hang in the air, as if there could be happiness where howling winds echo with the past joyful time. And in spite of the cold, when dressed in nothing but rags, wild children will play. On the bomb sites and in rubble, so sad and disturbing, the crack of the sniper's gun, the sound of young voices calling, waiting for a friend's reply from the empty streets of town. Their will to live is strong, even in these desolate places, and they all know death well. It rings out like memories of brothers, sisters, parents. They seem to hang in the air like beacons of light, as if there could be happiness amid this destruction where howling winds echo. They dream of being reunited with the past joyful time. These thoughts keep them warm, and in spite of the cold, they are fired up with hope. When dressed in nothing but rags, they bring about change, and the wild children will play. That's that one.
Yeah, again, that was really powerful, Roz. That's a good form, and there was some really lovely turns of phrase there as well.
We spent a bit more time doing that one because it was the first Malanga I ever read.
That's cool. It's yeah, really, really lovely. Thank you very much, Val. We're back to you.
Oh, Anna's poem, a Juve poem, with the line "Nothing to Do Day," reminded me of the poem that I wrote called "What to Do Today." So I thought I'd read that, although I've read it before. I have a lot of things to do, a lot to do today. I'll write a to-do list. I like to work that way. Do you write a to-do list of things to do today? Do you list the things to do and not do them anyway? But I just did what I had to do, got on with it today. I'd not need a to-do list to help me through my day. But writing a to-do list is my main job today. I can't be the only one who likes to work this way. So I've written a to-do list, and now I've read it through, I can still very safely say I've got a lot of things to do. Thank you.
I love it. That was a lovely echo, Val. That was really, really good. And now you just need to climb under the duvet, I think.
Yeah. Have a duvet day.
That sounds great. That was a really lovely poem, Val. And yeah, I know you said you've read it here before, but it's good to hear again. So yeah, cool. How are we doing? 9 o'clock. Right. Do we want to go round again, or are we happy with 3 rounds? Because that was a lot of poetry. Who wants to go again? Now everyone's tired. All right.
It's a lot to absorb, isn't it?
I know. So you've all done really well. I've got a song I can. Well, I'll do a song and then we'll do some thank yous and then I'll let you go out into the wild, released to do poeting. I came up with this song because I'm a frustrated singer. And I sing frustrated songs to frustrated audiences. So I came up with this the other day, called If I May. It goes a bit like this. May you smile through golden days. May only kind words pass your lips. May you always feel the love of those who see the truth in you. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. Forgive those mistakes and wipe away your tears. Allow time to heal and banish any fears. May you walk a joy-filled road. May all your dreams come true. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. May you fly so very high. May sunshine fill your heart. Maybe I'll make you smile. If you're feeling blue, if I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. May fortune smile on you and everything you do. Live a life full and true. May you see it through. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. If I may, if I may. Maybe you'll take my hand and I'll dance away with you. There you go.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, give yourselves a round of applause, everyone who you all read this evening. It's all been really, really fantastic stuff. Thank you for listening as well. Give yourselves a round of applause for listening as well, and for being very kind and patient. And I hope you all get home safe. And yeah, keep an eye out for events that are happening over the summer. We've got an in-person speakeasy happening at the Source Collective in Carlisle on, I think it's the 29th. Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks today, 7:30 on the 29th of May. And then we have a summer break, and we'll be picking things up again in September. But there'll be other things happening over the summer, I'm sure. And as I say, there's this event happening in Bitts Park on Sunday the 19th, 12 till 4. If you fancy coming along and reading some bits and pieces, you're very welcome to come and join us. And yeah, have fun, have a good summer, and keep writing, because this is really good stuff everyone's been sharing tonight. So thank you.
you very much for having me.
Thanks, Phil.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming along.
Thank you, everybody.
And yeah,
Thank
Thanks.
you.
see you again soon.
Thanks.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.